Okay, let's talk about it. The Control Cold War era, one of my favorite eras of hip-hop. We're talking the whole landscape of hip-hop changes. Everyone is debating the big three of the next generation. So before I get to the Control verse, let me briefly introduce you to these artists. Now first, let's start off with Kendrick Lamar. Product of Compton, California, got signed to TDE. Shout out to Top Dog, by the way. Kendrick Lamar started getting his notoriety when he dropped his overly dedicated mixtape in his Section 80 album. But then he gets signed to Dr. Dre, drops his Good Kid, Mad City album, which is an absolute classic. It is literally still on the Billboard 200 to this day. Next, we got J. Cole. In 2007, he graduated from St. John University in New York, and he dropped his Come Up album. Sometime after that, he ran to Jay-Z, tried to give him an album, and Jay-Z said, fuck no. It's kind of crazy. But Jay-Z in 2009 eventually signed him after hearing the Villmatic song, brought him on to Rock Nation, and the rest is history. Third, we got Drake from Toronto, Canada. Now, his career started earlier than everybody else because in 2001, he was on the show Degrassi, which was on Noggin, getting that bag. In 2006, he decided to get into music. He dropped his first mixtape ever called Room for Improvement. In 2009, he dropped his classic mixtape So Far Gone. Right after that, he gets the attention of Lil Wayne, and Lil Wayne signs him to YCMB. Now, leading up to Control, things seem to be pretty peaceful between the artists, right? No problems, no beef, no nothing. Drake brings Kendrick Lamar on his album Take Care, features him on the track Buried Alive. Kendrick goes into a crazy story talking about him meeting Drake and just dealing with fame. After that, he brings him on the Take Care tour with A$AP Rocky. When it comes to J. Cole and Drake, they didn't really have a relationship at this time, but J. Cole recently said on his new podcast Inevitable that he first discovered Drake on MySpace, was wondering who's this R&B guy, right? But then he actually inspired the warm-up tape because once he heard So Far Gone, he was like, yo, my deal with Jay-Z's not done and I gotta step my game up, right? So he dropped the warm-up, bada bing, bada boom. Now when it comes to J. Cole and Kendrick, they were actually really cool. I think J. Cole seen Kendrick Lamar perform somewhere and actually wanted to sign him. I don't know if he told him that or not, but J. Cole actually had a session with Dr. Dre where he told Dr. Dre about Kendrick Lamar, and Dr. Dre eventually signed Kendrick Lamar. Now I don't know if those things are related, but just something cool to know. Now in 2013, J. Cole dropped Born Center. Kendrick Lamar was even featured on there. He was on the record Forbidden Fruit. Right after Born Center, Kendrick Lamar decided to pop out on Big Sean's Hall of Fame album where he dropped his verse on Control. Shout out to Big Sean, shout out to Jay Electronica, but Kendrick Lamar took the spotlight because he called out all of his peers, every single one of them, by name. Now to me, Control was needed. Everyone was brother, and Kendrick Lamar said, yo, do not forget that when it comes to rapping, it's a sport. There's a lot of competition. Everyone was rapping at the time. So Kendrick Lamar had to make it clear, yo, I'm the best lyricist. And Drake, he was a big artist at the time, but he's singing and rapping, right? So Kendrick Lamar just wanted to make it clear, I'm the best lyricist in the game. If you want to question it, let's go ahead and step in the booth. Now, as I said, hip-hop went into a frenzy. There was rappers that weren't even mentioned on Control that felt like they needed to get in the booth and defend their pen. Just cuz. Every rapper that was mentioned on it, they had their responses, but ultimately they didn't take it serious.
I think hip-hop need this shit, man.
I knew what it was for hip-hop culture.
Yeah, but he wasn't coming at him in a disrespectful way. He's coming at him in a competitive way.
I didn't take it necessarily as a diss. Hip-hop is competitive, but I am a competitor.
Kendrick Lamar and J. Cole seem to be cool. That takes us to the VMA Awards, which is a crazy night in hip-hop. I guess Diddy and J. Cole get into an argument. Then Kendrick Lamar and the crew shows up. He talks to J. Cole. They piece it up. Diddy comes up, talks to them both, gets into another argument with J. Cole, presses Kendrick Lamar about the King of New York line on Control. Then they kind of end it, but then Diddy comes back tripping on J. Cole again, cracks a bottle and says, yo, what's poppin'? They get into a little scuffle. Emery, Jay-Z's right-hand man, who J. Cole signed to, gets in thinking that Diddy's getting jumped. He starts swinging on J. Cole, realizes J. Cole's like, what the fuck? So it's absolutely crazy. That is one of the craziest nights of hip-hop. I wish we had footage. J. Cole did throw a few shots on his 2014 Forest Hills album, but 2015 they hopped on the record Black Friday where they remix each other's singles from their last albums, and it was heavily rumored that they may do an album together, but that never happened, sadly. When it comes to Drake, he did not like the Control verse at all. He goes on and does a few interviews. He did one with Angie Martinez.
I just I don't know, it just wasn't real to me.
He did one with Elliott Wilson.
That verse was a moment to talk about. Are you listening to it now?
He was just going around saying he wasn't rocking with the record. I mean, I think it's pretty corny that you say, like, when Kendrick Lamar seen him, he should have kept it 100. I mean, come on, dude. Hip-hop's a sport. But I do understand that Control may have taken away from his Nothing Was the Same album, which still ended up selling really well. And Drake does go at Kendrick Lamar on the record. The language, right in the beginning, takes some direct, indirect shots. 21 days later, Kendrick Lamar hops on the BET Cypher and takes some direct, indirect shots at Drake. And that leads to some great records from both Drake and Kendrick Lamar where they just go at each other. I got to read this on the list because there's so many, right? We got the Shit remix where Drake goes at Kendrick. We got Pay For It where Kendrick goes at Drake. We got Used To where Drake goes at Kendrick. 6 p.m. in New York where Drake goes at Kendrick. King Kunta, Kendrick goes at Drake. 100, Drake featuring The Game where Drake goes at Kendrick. Dark Side Gone, Deep Water, Kendrick Lamar and Dr. Dre. I mean, it just goes deep. Oh, Summer 16, Yo, Obama gets involved. Obama was asked by a YouTuber which artist he prefers or something, and he sides with Kendrick Lamar, and Drake goes directly at him on Summer 16. Kendrick Lamar follows up on Untitled 7 in 2016, and that same year, Drake does an interview with Marcellus Wiley on some sports network where he completely goes at Kendrick Lamar, but they scrapped the interview. It was never released. And then on The Heart Part 4, which I thought was going at Big Sean the whole time, was actually going at Drake, considering he used the same lines on Euphoria. That's my assumption. I don't know. Now, from 2018 up until the Honestly Nevermind release, not much happened, but academics, I believe, plays a big part. As you guys know, Ak is Team Drake. I mean, he was singing his albums, falling asleep on stream to him. He's locked in. But I believe he messed up when Kendrick Lamar and Baby Keem dropped Family Ties, and Ak goes on stream and asks Kendrick,
5 you smoking on Kendrick? Because my top 5 is Drake, 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 Drake.
Drake, 5 years ago, he does a record for Beyonce called Heated. It does not get released. Then Beyonce decides to drop a house dance album called Renaissance, right? It is slated to drop in July 2022, right? She reaches out to Drake, get the record cleared. Bam, Drake knows that she's dropping an album using that very specific dance record that he did. So what does he do? On June 17th, he drops Honestly Nevermind. One rap record and all house dance records on there. And guess what date is June 17th? Kendrick Lamar's birthday, right? So Beyonce, what she does, says, okay, so you're going to step on my album release like that? Because her album dropped a month after that. What did she do? She calls Kendrick Lamar and brings him on the America Has a Problem remix. America Has a Problem. Pretty obvious, right? Bam. Kendrick Lamar goes on there, swags it up, but he goes directly at Drake. He says, hey, just so you know, I was slap homie. FYI. And he goes at Universal too, right? Dub Vader says the Beyonce angle is a reach. Dude, I stand by that the most. Why would Beyonce let Kendrick go on America Has a Problem remix and just cook Drake like that? What happened? What would make her do that? You think she heard the verse and didn't know what was going on? So what does Drake do? He drops the For All My Dogs album, and on there is First Person Shooter. First verse, Drake goes in, very neutral verse, but J. Cole comes in, talk about the big three, saying he's Muhammad Ali, right? Big three's Meek, K-Dot, Drake, all that. But he says the Spider-Man meme is me looking at Drake, meaning Kendrick Lamar is 3. And that chain reaction leads to Kendrick Lamar dropping the Like That record. The boogeyman's here, Ak. I'ma let your ass know you're sleeping. Boogeyman is here. Kendrick is not playing.
Nigga, bum. I'm really like.
Future has chosen sides. The game is up. The hip-hop civil war has begun. Nigga, wake your ass up. Then we got Kendrick blacking out on a Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever the J. Cole dropped Business is Business, was feeling himself. Kendrick, oh, I'm telling you right now, if these people don't start rapping, hip-hop is dead, and y'all niggas can pack it up and get the out. Y'all niggas better battle. Pretty fucking simple, right? But then J. Cole drops the 7-minute drill, a record that he soon apologizes for. But on that record, he tried to say that Kendrick popped out first and he's doing this for clout and all this. Like he wasn't just talking shit on First Person Shooter. What? And after that, that leads to Euphoria. So it's either you disregarded all those facts or you knew that they were cooking and you sided with Drake. You got to pick a side, brother. I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you.
I hate the way that you dress. I hate the way that you sneak.
Look at that nigga.
Flight, it's gonna be direct. We top dog. Who the fuck they think they playing with? Extortion, my middle name is back. I ain't even bleed them yet. Can I bleed them? When I see you stand by sexy red, I believe you see 2 bad bitches.
Push-ups, Not Like Us, everything that we witness. Family Matters, everything, right? Grippy, nigga? Grippy? This is J. Cole. That's Jermaine. That's the Jermaine I know.
She in my phone with a nickname.
I'm appalled.
Grippy.
It's Grippy.
Grippy.
Leave Cole out of that shit. He ain't supposed to be over there. He's supposed to be right here. Right in this pocket. You know what pocket I'm talking about. You know that pocket I'm talking about. Motherfucker start stuttering. Motherfucker start stuttering. You know what pocket I'm talking about. Jermaine. But you're starting to confuse me. You're one of my favorite rappers. I came in and said, after I heard the London verse, you are one of the hardest rappers in the game. And what do?
Man, what the fuck is you talking about?
What the fuck is that? I'm sorry, man. I wasn't thinking about it.
Drake and Kendrick both work for the same company, though. That is absolutely true, Super Dave. Very good point. That's what gets me a little iffy. And I got a whole bunch of questions about this beef, too, because there's no way J. Cole falls off before the fall off. Let's be honest. When you get Kendrick Lamar for the Super Bowl, you're getting him and his creative agency that he's founded with his brother, Dave Free, okay? And they just did, for example, the Chanel fashion show, okay? This right here, that shot right there, that's them, okay? All this right there, that's PG Lang, okay? They got stuff with Cash App, they got stuff with, I think it was Calvin Klein, Chanel, all types of shit. They're dropping phones, they're going crazy. Outside of the Not Like Us record and all that, them as an agency is just, they're doing phenomenal work. There's someone you will want to hire. There's someone you will want to bank on. So, as much as I love Wayne and he's the GOAT and whoever else may have been selected, I don't think that their teams creatively would have been able to submit something like or come up with a concept as good as whatever Kendrick and Dave Free could be. And I don't think this whole show is going to be just to disrespect Drake or I don't even think it's that. I think it's way bigger than that. That's already done. Kendrick already won. That's over.
They talking about money, huh? They ain't talking about nothing,
Today we're going to go through the comments on my last video, the Big 3 Crash Out Explain video. Low-key went viral. I appreciate you guys so much for commenting, liking, sharing, all that beautiful stuff. So let's go through your comments. Let's see what you had to say about it. Shout out to my boy Yo Kobe. He says, Drake a GOAT in my eyes. And then Elijah Breeze responds and says, you got too much nut in your eye. Wow. All right. Anthony DiCaprio says, none of this happened. None of it. Bro said 0% of what I said was accurate. Okay, wow. Nikki Spitfire says, no lies detected here. Drake and Cole won't be talked about for generations like K-Dot. They should have never tested him. He just proved how he's the best alive. I definitely do think Kendrick's here to spy as one of the best rappers in the game. Let's be honest. But you can never discredit Drake and Cole and their contribution. Come on. That's crazy. That's crazy. You can't do that. Extra Clip says, you clear this up for me, fam. Thanks. Yes, sir. No problem. My pleasure. Drake just dropped his lawsuit against iHeartMedia, and it turns out Not Like Us was just fire. That's it. That's all. No foul play, no nothing. So let's break it down. Drake accused iHeartMedia of taking payments from UNG to pretty much spam Not Like Us everywhere on the radio, right? Basically payola, but the crazy thing was he was going for a RICO. Like, that's for organized crime. In this new article from Rolling Stone, they say, and I quote, in exchange for documents that showed iHeart did nothing wrong, Drake agreed to drop his petition. No payments were made by either one of us. A source at iHeartMedia tells Rolling Stone. In a separate statement, Drake's legal team said, we are pleased that parties were able to reach a settlement satisfactory to both sides. Have no further comment on this matter. So it's pretty clear. Comes to that situation, it's pretty much done. And for all those people that were saying, yo, he settled for millions, billions, Kendrick, we're coming for you, all that bullshit, well, we got the answer. And this proves that radio still has an impact in the streaming area. Like the DJs, we need you. But the artist versus label war is heating up for real, for real. Like Drake still has his lawsuit against UMG. We don't really know what that's going to turn into. So is Drake just doing too much with the lawsuits, or what do you think? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Over 120 people have filed a complaint with the FCC about Kendrick Lamar's Not Like Us Super Bowl performance. They said Kendrick was being anti-American. That's cap. People said they didn't like the flag being split, but have you guys seen the country? This is the most divided I've ever seen it. It's just another human's perspective. One person from Ocean City, Maryland said there was not one white person in the whole show. If it was all white, it would have been a different story. What do you think? One complaint from Daytona Beach said, I want to know why there was not one white person involved. I felt discriminated against, and why was Uncle Sam black when Uncle Sam is white? Someone from North Carolina says they were glad they couldn't understand Kendrick's lyrics, but they took the time to look them up and they were appalled. They were shocked. Now, of course, I'm not going to tell people how to feel, nor do I really give a f how they feel. However they feel, that's up to them. But we should always be fighting for freedom of speech, freedom of expression, all that. Should Kendrick have performed Not Like Us at the Super Bowl? Should he have diversified his dancers? Man, people just be home frustrated as shit sometimes. Back in 2020, they sent over 1,300 FCC complaints to J-Lo and Shakira. Who the f is hating on those two?